Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we're just 1 day away from the launch of the Lost City of Un'Goro expansion, and I couldn't help but notice while playing a lot of early access Brawl that the best part about it was not seeing these cards, Arcanite, Defense Crystal, Kil'jaeden, which ironically are cards I play all the time, because if you want to play Control in today's Hearthstone, you basically have to play these cards. And I want to go over the cards that have me concerned about, well, you know, the expansion of problematic cards that I just feel like are going to dominate, and it's going to be the thing we're going to be talking about very early on in the expansion, outside of, you know, some cards here and there, like the Murloc quest for Paladin will probably be pretty good at launch. But overall, yeah, there are some cards I'm really spooked about that I want to talk about that, yeah, might be something to look out for as things that might get adjusted pretty darn quickly. And today is the last day to enter our giveaway for the Lost City of Un'Goro reward track. We're giving away 3 out of my pocket. To enter that giveaway, like and comment in the video, link down description below, the one with that thumbnail over there. Be subscribed to the channel. If we hit another 1,000 subs by tomorrow, I'll add another rewards track. So hit that sub button, make me go broke. And no, I don't think just Defense Crystal and Kil'jaeden are potential issues. There's quite a few. I noticed this on the Hearthstone subreddit. This card comes up all the time. Can we nerf this already? Who cares if it's slow? No card should be able to deal 20 plus damage by itself. I just want to say, Holy Wrath Paladin, anybody in Wild? Can we deal with Holy Wrath in Wild? That's probably a discussion for another day, but I will say it's time for Holy Wrath to change. Let's be real. Maybe we'll discuss that at the end of the video. We'll see. But yeah, there's a plenty of cards out there, and I also noticed that somebody else noticed the same thing as me on the Hearthstone subreddit of the meta without Kil'jaeden is a joy. Not looking too forward to playing Standard next week, but at least the Brawl. And I agree with this. Like, I've been saying this for months and months. Late game staples should not be neutral. Kil'jaeden would have been awesome as a Warlock card. I, on the other hand, think just add a condition, right? Add a condition, like you play a few demons this game or whatever. The text box is totally full, so I don't know what they would do. But to me, Kil'jaeden has represented a problem of every control deck has to play it, and then any control win con that isn't that is useless because you can't really outscale Kil'jaeden and beat it if your deck is built around it, right? We're seeing that with Warlock, with Death Knight, hell, we've seen it with Demon Hunter decks. It can be pretty problematic. If we look at HS Replay, take a look at the meta of decks that basically concern me. Why did I put myself, I'm putting myself back over here. The things that concern me, you got scam decks and all that, like Buff Hunter. But the things that scare me are like, yeah, Space Death Knight, which is Arcanite Defense Crystal, and using the whole Kil'jaeden approach. Hog Demon Hunter with the Death Rattle, we'll talk about that. And, you know, you got your aggro decks, you got your tempo decks in there, but there are just a few things that really stand out to me, whether they're the top of the win rate or not. I mean, look at Protoss Mage. It's always near the bottom, but people are complaining about it. So I just wanted to go over some key cards, take a look, at least what I'm concerned about, what could invalidate, right? We're getting a expansion full of quests and like late game stuff like Warriors quest, right? You need to survive 10 turns and get a bunch of terrible old quest rewards and hope it works out. It's probably not going to work out regardless of what they change. But yeah, let's take a look at the cards that I really want to talk about. And for me, a huge issue in the standard metagame, as much as I play these cards and to an extent enjoy them, cards like Arcanite Defense Crystal and Ancient of Yore, ironically side by side, allow every class basically to have this ability to gain like hundreds of armor, which makes no sense to me, right? That should be Warrior, maybe Druid, right? Druids add armor from the beginning of the Hearthstone. I guess Mage has barriers, so you could put Mage in there to an extent, but the mass armor gain is just ridiculous right now. And it is a symptom of starting health is 30. They want to push power level, and well, if we let every class gain armor, we can, you know, push power level and they can gain armor to survive that. Whereas, yeah, that's probably not the best remedy, because basically every game in Hearthstone, it feels like these days, is you either kill them fast before they get this online, or you're having an infinite armor Kil'jaeden mirror, or you're getting OTK'd by like Colossus or Spell Damage Druid that deals literally over 100 damage, right? And I feel like that's a pretty toxic cyclical meta we have going on right here. And yeah, to me, something like that, like, I don't know. I just feel like neutral armor gain shouldn't be super efficient. Ancient of Yore as a standalone card is fine. Arcanite Defense Crystal as a standalone card is fine to an extent, although resummoning it with the Starship, pretty crazy. But I don't know what you would do. I feel like you could change Arcanite Defense Crystal to be like the launch piece where when you launch the Defense Crystal, then you gain the armor, or Ancient of Yore. Again, I just feel like it's mostly abused for the most part by Warlock, right? When they bring it back and gains a million armor. I really feel like that 4-mana spell, right? The one they already nerfed should have just been changed to target a Warlock minion. Would have alleviated a lot of these issues. But yeah, they kind of stand out to me. Another card, yeah, it's brought up a ton, and I think with the amount of sentiment towards the card and the fact that it ultimately does invalidate most late game strategies, because most decks you could just stall with armor gain, right? Armor gain, and mages is not exactly isolated to the Starship stuff. Like, they have a lot of other cards like Sleet Skater that's just class specific. You also have the Shield Battery, which you could get a bunch of with Discover. Can't really nerf those cards to really negate that. It's really all the Colossus. Just feel like you hit it like so it only does like one swoop, or it does it all at once so it doesn't clear the board of Death Rattles and Divine Shields, something along those lines. But I just feel like it's been complained about so much that, yeah, it could very well invalidate these later game strategies that look to be pushed with some of these quests. Some of the quests are very aggressive, like the Druid quest. I don't think I'll have any problem to be aggressive and kill people. But yeah, the later game stuff, it's a little bit more daunting. Another card that absolutely stands out to me that continues to be a real problem is Ravenous Fell Hunter. I see complaints about Ball Hog and all that, but if you play the Brawl and you don't have Ball Hog, you just like put the Blob of Tar, whatever it's called, the new taunt in there. It's obscene because all you need is one Death Rattle to die, and then the Ravenous change never ends, right? It's just silly. Like, we've had these cards before where it's an issue if it's not different, right? We had it with Hydration Station, with the Boom, Inventor Boom. Tons of cards have been like that. To me, this card should say, resurrect 2 friendly death metal minions that die this game that costs 4 or less. Like, I just don't understand why you could just play a 4-drop death rattle and then start an infinite chain effectively as early as turn 5. And the game is almost sometimes just over. You can't really come back. To me, it's a brutally busted card, and nerfing around it, I think, is a mistake, because Ball Hog wasn't broken before, and I don't think the Blob of Tar card, although very good, don't get me wrong, this card's great, it's not broken when you know, if you can't bring it back over and over. It'll see tons of play, Menagerie decks, even control decks. It's like the Tar Creeper of this Ungoro, right? It's kind of a nice throwback that we have a Tar be a meta card in both Ungoros. But yeah, to me, Ravenous Fell Hunter is just stupid. It's just dumb and should really, really get hit. Paladin, Drunk Paladin, they didn't really nerf it last patch. Like, they made Divine Brew not give attack buff, but it barely did anything. They need to hit the whole, like, actual problem with the deck with the Flickering Lightbot change. But overall, to me, this card should read costs 1 less for each turn you've cast a holy spell. So by turn 8, yeah, I can play my Giant by 0 mana. Also, Liness is just outright cracked. Don't know how she's never been nerfed. Compare her to the Rogue Tourist. It's like, how are these even remotely on the same planet or Gilly, right? It's just, the card is insane. You can bump it to 6 or 7. I just feel like Paladin is getting a lot of insane stuff. They're gonna have Burlocks and all that, but at the end of the day, Drug Paladin is so fast and so efficient, I don't know what could possibly compete with it at higher levels. So yeah, Flickering Lightbot, Linessa, Divine Brew, a proper nerf are cards that, again, absolutely stand out to me. And of course, we saw how like Imbue Paladin absolutely dominated the early access brawl. Again, that might not be a great indicator of things to come, but it is pretty spooky to think about. Yeah, no new card, Imbue Paladin absolutely dominated. And you wonder, are cards like, you know, Ursol, which has just been ridiculous, maybe it should only be like last 2 turns, something like that. Should they revert the Imbue buff itself, right? The 1 mana hero power. This deck is an absolute menace across most ranks, only falls off at higher legend, and it's just like, definitely contentious issue. Again, that infinite style of value. I just feel like Imbue in general not a great mechanic. It's either bad, or if it's good, people absolutely loathe it, because how do you interact with a hero power? How do you interact with infinite value like that? You just don't. And it's, again, something to look out for. And I'm sure if Imbue Paladin is very good after launch, there will be so many complaints about. People are just tired of Paladin, and we got the Murloc quest coming too, so it's like, I don't know, Paladin Stone feels like it's just gonna go on and on and on and on. Yeah, I'll just leave off with this card, which I have been anti-Kil'jaeden since like day one. I can't stand the fact that just any deck can throw this in, no condition required other than play. Yes, you gotta play 7 mana 7/7, and that could cost you plenty of games, right? But to get infinitely scaling anti-fatigue demons, and especially they added all these crazy demons in the last set with like Lifesteal Rush and Dark Gifts and the Death Rattle stuff that brings back your starship pieces. I just don't think this card should have 0 condition, or if it scales, it should scale slower, or just have some counterplay where it's not an endless portal. You just add 30 demons to your deck, so if your opponent wants to play a Steam Cleaner, they can blow it up. I don't know, but to me, this card represents a lot of issues in the game. And I don't find mirrors to be particularly, at least control mirrors, to be very fulfilling when it just comes down to who gets the better random demons. Like sometimes it is who can save the more clears for after Kil'jaeden, but ultimately, if you're just getting crazy random demons that fill the board, like an Archimond or the Death Rattle stuff, it just doesn't matter. And as a control enjoyer, I just feel like I hate that I have to play this card. I hate that I have to have this in my deck if I want to play those, or I'm going to lose a lot more games because my opponent's playing it, right? It's the old Archivist Elysiana. Nobody really wanted to play the card in their deck, but they had to. They had to, or else they would lose that control mirror. And to me, fatigue should matter to an extent. If you want to negate fatigue, you should at least have to work for it, other than just, yeah, play Kil'jaeden or discover Kil'jaeden, right? That happens a lot too. You just discover it and then boom, I have infinite value, screw you. And it's not a power outlier. It's definitely not anything like that. But to me, it's very meta warping, and it really restricts what you can do in the late game. And it was so unbelievably refreshing in that Tavern Brawl not to face this, not to face Defense Crystal. And I'm worried that, yeah, when the set goes live, it's going to be the same old nonsense, and it's boring, it's annoying, it's slow. This shouldn't be what props up control, in my opinion. I want control to be good, but not like this, I guess. Not like this. Anyways, those are the cards I'm kind of worried about possibly ruining things. Obviously, there's aggression cards too. I'm not going to talk about new cards that can ruin things because they're supposed to, right? They're new cards. They're supposed to break the game. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the old card. I will say Alonius as well. Forgot to mention that card, but yeah, spell damage druid, whether it's this, the location of Mirdrassil, some should probably change there too, in case I didn't forget about this one, okay? I didn't even bring up Murmur, which is a very high legend thing, but my God, I would love for them to delete this card. And yes, for Wild's sake, I'll give a shout out to Wild Holy Wrath Paladin. I saw a very good suggestion on the Hearthstone, I think the Wild subreddit, for Holy Wrath, because it's dealing 125 damage with Ceaseless, because it got even more consistent tools with Sharp-Eyed Lookout. I like the idea of making Holy Wrath, yeah, like 4 or 3 mana, and say draw a holy spell and deal damage equal to its cost, right? So you at least, you know, it could be really cool for holy decks. Could deal like 10 damage, I think, is the most expensive holy spell, and that would be pretty rad, right? Still a pretty cheap Pyroblast you could put in, although you probably want to keep it at 5. I think they suggested 3 mana. That'd probably be too insane, but you could do something like that. Anyways, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. We will have day 1 deck recommendations tomorrow. The expansion will launch tomorrow. We'll be streaming it on Twitch, so hopefully we'll see you tomorrow on YouTube and maybe on Twitch. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.